Hello and welcome back to It's a Snake's Life. This week we're having a look at the ShadeDweller UV kit from Arcadia Reptile. So in the kit you get the T5 slimline UV bulb, the mounting bracket and reflector, which can be separated if needs be. You just pull them apart and then they clip back together. You get the wall adapter and you also get a 3-foot link cable, which we'll talk about in a minute. You get a little rubber grommet, and that's to seal up the socket for the link cable if you're not going to be using that. You get 2 metal clips for attaching the bracket to the ceiling of a wooden vivarium. You just screw those clips into the ceiling and then push the bracket into them. They might seem like they don't fit, but they will. It just takes a little bit of force. And those clips come with 2 screws and 2 wall plugs. But these screws are very long. I'm not quite sure why they give you such long screws. These are 25mm, and as far as I know, standard wooden vivarium boards are around about 15 to 18mm thick. So I'm not sure why they give you such big screws, and with wall plugs as well. I personally didn't use the wall plugs, and I just stuck some 12mm screws in there, which have held it in fine. If you're using a mesh lid on your enclosure, then you can just rest the lamp on top of that, but do bear in mind that mesh will reduce the total UV output of the lamp. Finally, as with all Arcadia UV lamps, you do get the reminder service. So if you're not already aware, a UV lamp's strength diminishes over time, so you do need to change them even if they're still emitting light. But Arcadia include a QR code on the box, so you can just scan that and you'll get an email reminder when it's time to swap out your bulb. And the great thing about Arcadia bulbs is they last for 12 months, unlike a lot of UV bulbs which have to be changed every 6 months. So the ShadeDweller is an 8-watt T5 bulb that produces 17% UVA and 7% UVB, and it's been designed specifically for crepuscular species, those that are known to mostly be active at dawn and dusk, so corn snakes, royal pythons, leopard geckos, crested geckos, etc. So crepuscular and nocturnal species have always been shortchanged when it comes to UV light. They have been shown to survive without it and have therefore gone without it for too long, as Arcadia puts it. So this product aims to right that wrong. So this lamp is 30cm or 1 foot in length, and I'm actually using them in 4-foot enclosures at the moment. And it might sound like they're too small for 4-foot enclosures, but I want that light to gradually dwindle out to nothing across the length of the enclosure. I have the ShadeDweller UV lamp right behind the heat lamp, and this is creating a basking area, so we have all that UV and heat concentrating on one end of the enclosure, and then both are fading across to the cooler and darker shaded area of the enclosure. And the heat lamp I'm using here is the Deep Heat Projector, also by Arcadia, and this lamp attempts to closely replicate the sun's heat, which makes it a great choice of lamp to pair with a UV light. I will be doing a review of this soon. So for a corn snake, Arcadia recommends about 12-inch distance from lamp to animal, which will expose them to a UVI level somewhere between 0.65 and 0.8. So I have a couple of bits of bark just under the lamp to raise that area, and I will occasionally find my corn snake laying across that area. And then of course there's more UV rays scattered across the warm end of the enclosure, but just at a lower UVI level. I've chosen to cover my ShadeDweller kits with a guard because the bulbs can get a little on the warm side, and also because I imagine the reflector would be easily damaged if a snake were to climb all over it, and a corn snake would climb all over it. There's no real doubt about that. The one thing to keep in mind though is that guards do block some of those UV rays and therefore reduce the UV output by around 30%. The guard I'm using here though is the Arcadia Lamp Guard Pro, which claims to only reduce the UV output by 15%. So these are around the £13 to £14 mark in the UK. It has hinges on the back so you can swing it open to swap out your bulb. It has 2 cable holes on the back as well as one on either end. This is the 20-inch version, which I think is the shortest version they do, and it does seem a little long for a 12-inch lamp, but it does mean that you can have 3-inch clearance for cables at either end. Speaking of cables, you can see that this lamp only has one cable plugged into it, whereas this one has a cable in either end. So if you remember, I showed you that 3-foot link cable you get in the box. Well, this enables you to run another ShadeDweller kit straight from your existing one. So the cable coming in from the left there is from the wall adapter, and the cable going out from the right is the link cable. This is then going up and into this kit and powering this one too. So both these kits are being powered from the one adapter, and you can actually hook up to 10 kits in total, which is pretty amazing to think that you can light up 10 Vivariums from one wall socket. The only thing that bothers me is that you have to buy the entire kit every time. I think it'd be good if you could buy the kit with the wall adapter or the link cable, like a starter kit and an extension kit. I don't know if you'd save money that way or not. I also haven't been able to find any of the parts in this kit available separately, apart from the bulb of course. But having said all that, the entire kit is around £30 to £35 to buy here in the UK, and I do think that's a very fair price, so we can't really complain too much. And that is it. That was my review of the ShadeDweller UV kit from Arcadia Reptile. Hopefully it was helpful. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.